button. It's Diego, Dandy in the Bronx. It is 8:04 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here in the Boogie Down Bronx. Good evening, everyone. Today is a very, very special show. I have a guest today. So usually we do gaming stuff. I play Pokemon. I try to catch them all. I try to be the very best, like no one ever was. But today we have a special guest. We have fellow content creator, fellow educator, fellow Bronx Gaming Network supporter, believer, Ashley Laura. Welcome to the chat, Ashley Laura.
Hi, everyone. I am DJ Laura. Like just Dandy said, I am an educator in the Bronx. And on top of that, I am a gamer. So I'm really excited to be here. I'm learning more about Twitch, but I'm usually on Facebook. So this is exciting.
Yeah, and the way we met each other in the first place was mostly through the Bronx Gaming Network. I joined Twitch to basically help expand my brand, and I'm also a former teacher. I used to be a teacher. I used to teach preschool, and I quit that actually in 2014 to pursue this job as a influencer / content creator, digital marketer, mostly focusing on menswear. And when Ashley met me, she was like, Diego, I need to learn more. I need to learn more, Dandy. I need to know how you did this, especially from teacher to this, because I want to learn more. Ashley, so why did you message me in the first place?
Right. And so as an educator, I take pride in what I do, and I love just talking to like-minded people. And this is one of those times where, like, for educators, it's very different, right? This is a pandemic. Mm-hmm. We're teaching very differently. And I just kind of want an insight to, like, what people think about education, what was their, like, path to education and out of education, because there's definitely more things to do out there. And there might be a possible career switch. I don't know, but definitely trying to take advice from you today.
Yeah, and when you mentioned that to me, I felt like this would be a great opportunity to share with the community, to share it with the Bronx Gaming Network, to share with other creators, to share with anyone, honestly, on how to do this. Because, you know, there is a lot of content creators out there. There's a lot of people who do this. But especially as a Bronxite, as a Latino, Latinx, it feels very daunting. Like, how do I do this? How do I become this character, this social media character? And I wanted to bring Ashley into the chat because I felt this was a great way to not only help her out on becoming and learning more about content creation, but also to help you, the audience. So I want this to be an open dialogue, a ask me anything situation. So actually I'm going to add to the tag, I should have added that earlier, ask me anything. Actually, I'm going to use hashtag ask me anything, AMA. There you go. Updated it just real quick. Forgot about that. I wanted this to be an ask me anything because I know I see in the chat, there's other fellow content creators who recently just started. I think because of the pandemic, honestly, a lot of people were like, I want to try Twitch. And honestly, that's why I joined Twitch, because it was the pandemic and my life flipped and turned upside down, and I wanted to, I wanted to try Twitch because my whole bread and butter was Instagram. So I wanted to be able to try something new, you know? So, Ashley, what is your first question? What is the first thing that you wanted to have? I saw the list. Ashley has a list of questions, and I want to also bring it to the audience as well. So feel free to definitely ask questions as well. This is an open dialogue. Ashley, what's up? What's your first question, Ashley?
All right, let's take it from the very, very beginning, okay? What made you become an educator in the first place?
Okay, so we're going to go back in time, my friend. So this is back in like when I went to college in the first place. I went to this little school called SUNY Fredonia near Buffalo, to give you an idea, go Bills, of where I went to school. And I wanted to go specifically early childhood education. Welcome to the chat, Inject Heathen. Well, that's an intense name. I wanted to do early childhood education because I felt that education is super duper important, especially at a beginning young age. I feel that once you're at middle school and high school, if you have a bad educational experience, school is pretty much ruined for you. It's pretty much a terrible experience, and your hype for education is pretty much destroyed. And I felt that's how I felt, and I didn't want other people to feel that way, other kids to feel that way. So I feel that as an early childhood educator, and early childhood, if you're not sure what that means, birth to second grade, and I want to teach specifically preschool, that I wanted to help these kids out so that they have an amazing educational experience. So at SUNY Fredonia, I got my bachelor's in early childhood education, and I also got my master's in literacy education. And I wanted to help kids out and save the world. That was the initial intent of being a teacher.
So I am a kindergarten teacher, and you know, with the babies, definitely you need to have a lot of patience. So
Infinite patience.
I'm sure, Danny, that you're a very patient person, just because even wanting to be in that grade level or grade band, I'm sure is like you thought about it and you were like, okay, I'm a patient person and I know I'm gonna enjoy this. And then when you have the little ones, there are so many fun moments. There are so many funny moments. So I want to know what's your favorite moment as an educator.
Ooh, okay. So this is the story I usually save for very specific moments, fun icebreakers. So let me tell you about this story. I was teaching at Jamestown at the time, in Western New York, and I was teaching a class. I was bringing a story to my preschool class at the time, and I remember one of my kids was like, Mr. Diego. By the way, they called me Mr. Diego. When I was teaching preschool, I was never Mr. Leon. I was always Mr. Diego. One of my kids came up to me and was like, Mr. Diego, something smells. And kids fart. They make smelly. They smell sometimes. Completely understandable. It's all good. So I was like, oh, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. So I kept reading the story to the class. I kept reading the story. Then out of nowhere, I'm like, oh snap, I smell that too. What is that? I smell that. Then I noticed one of my kids in the back. They're standing up, but they don't look like distraught or anything. They're just standing up, listening to the story. I didn't ask them to sit down. They're standing up, and I noticed something at the base of his foot. You can already guess what that was. It was a nice piece of ya tu sabes in the floor. So I told all the kids, all right, move out of the way. And then I grabbed like a chair and put it on top of it because I didn't want any of the kids to try to grab it, because the little ones, they just want to grab it. They just want to grab the stuff. So I put the chair on top of it. Luckily, my teacher's aide helped out, but that's one of my favorite stories with one of my kids. But the thing is, that's the moments I love. It's very human, a very childlike moment. There's no hate, there's no anything like that. It was just really funny, and I'll remember it for the rest of my life.
I was definitely expecting a funny story, but not that funny. That really it hit close to home. That happens too many times in the younger ages. So thinking about your time as an educator, if you can describe everything, your whole time, your whole experience as an educator, what's the one word you would use to describe that experience, and why do you choose that word?
Whoa, that's a tough one. Oh, the one word. As cheesy as it might sound, I would say legacy, because the amount of energy and passion you put into the kids is what they're going to take for the rest of their lives. A lot of people say oh, you're going to forget kindergarten, you're going to forget preschool, but I don't think that's the case. You're going to take that energy, that great educational experience that you have in preschool or kindergarten. That's a legacy that you've left in the world, and you want to leave a positive legacy, a legacy that they're going to take when they grow older, when they become an adult. So they're going to remember back in the day, oh, Mr. Diego, I had a great experience of him, or with Miss Ashley, I had a great experience with him. It's a legacy that you leave, and I think a lot of educators know that. No one goes into education to make cash money. They go into education to leave a legacy, and that's why I choose that word.
That's a big word. Gotta let that sit a little bit. I mean, all in all, right, being an educator is such a tricky thing because you do want them to remember you, and for the right reasons. And so thinking about the the impression that you gave your students, what's like an impression, like what is something that you may have like gained from your experience as an educator, like a skill or maybe some kind of mindset or knowledge that you walked away with?
That's a tough one. Uh, I, because every moment, every day was always something very different, a new skill, a new ability. And I think that's just the thing. Because as a teacher, you're a lifelong learner. You never are no one's a perfect teacher. Every day you're leveling up. Every day you're gaining experience points. Every day you're moving to different skill trees. Every day you're respecing your stats. Every day you're doing, something new. So that's the thing I believe, that you're a lifelong learner, and that I'm going to keep. Thank you so much for the bits, my friends. And by the way, thank you everyone who's in the chat so far, hanging out. Feel free to chime in and ask questions. I'm going to try to answer the questions from Ashley, but also interact in the chat as I can. So bear with me. I see all of you and I see all the love. So thank you so much. Cash money, much love. But yeah, it's all about the lifelong learning and being able to evolve as a teacher and be better for the kids, for them.
So let's rock the boat a little bit. Let's go into, now we talked to kind of like your entrance into being an educator and your time as an educator. Let's go into like leaving your time as an educator. And no matter what, you're going to be an educator at heart. Yeah. I always truly feel that, even in what you do now, there's some kind of aspect of education. But okay, so this is a tricky question, right? And so let me know if you need me to rephrase it. But what is the moment where you started to think, maybe being an educator is exactly something that I should leave behind or move on from?
So leaving being a teacher was not an easy step. It was a combination of many things that were happening. So when I was teaching preschool, let me tell you how my schedule was. So I live in the Bronx, and I was teaching in Queens, and specifically Corona, Queens. So from the Bronx to Queens in the train is about maybe an hour or so. So I remember waking up every day 5 o'clock to get to Queens by 7 to get there on time. But that wasn't that was fine. I'm a morning person, so that's not a terrible thing. I'm a morning person. I also had 3 sessions of students. So in altogether, probably 36 kids in different intervals at the time. And I think it was just taking up a lot of energy. And what started happening was, that's actually how I started wearing suits all the time. I was wearing suits because I wanted my kids to have a positive Latino role model. There's not a lot of males, there's not a lot of Latinos, not a lot of Latino males who are teachers. So I wanted to be able to show a really good example to them. And that's why I started wearing suits. And they were wearing suits too, by the way. Not suits, but they were wearing uniforms. In my school, everyone's going to have a suit. But they were wearing uniforms, so they were wearing a tie. So I need to wear a tie too. So when I started wearing my suits, I started posting about them on social media. And then when the bug hit, because I wanted to post more on social media. So when teaching and posting on social media, they weren't really conflicting. But then I remember I started getting invited to influencer events and parties. And it wasn't very practical to be able to go to those events at the same time. And then as well, when I was a preschool teacher, I think UPK, Universal Preschool, wasn't in effect. It didn't exist yet. So real talk, I'll tell you, I was making $30K a year as a preschool teacher, and I made it work. I at the time I was living with my family, so I made it work. And then I remember one day a brand reached out to my Instagram. They slid in my DMs, and they're like, "Hey, Diego, we like your Instagram. Can we send you a free tie?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course I love a free tie. Why? I would love a free product." And I learned that, whoa, this is a thing? You can get something for free on social media? And I didn't think nothing of it, but I would occasionally get these messages of people wanting to send me free stuff on social media. Then I remember one day, I was like, this brand was willing to pay me money to post on social media. And then I was like, what? And let me tell you my first ever paid gig. My first ever paid gig on social media, someone was willing to pay me $250 to post about a belt. And I was like, yo, I'm rich. I'm gonna make, if I do this, like if I do this like every day, I can do it. I can make it. So at school, I had 3 classes. So in combined, I had 36 kids. When I would get home by like 7 o'clock every day. I didn't have insurance at my school, and there was just a lot of paperwork being a preschool teacher, a lot of paper and a lot of assessments, and I felt that it was more about teaching to the test, teaching to boxes you had to fill out. It was like teaching to. It didn't feel organic what I was doing. I felt I was being hindered to the teaching I wanted to be doing. So I decided that, worst case scenario, if I took a break from teaching, I can come back. I still have my teaching certificate. I can renew it. I can take a year off or whatever. Let me take a chance and learn more about how to make money on Instagram by posting stuff. And this was in 2014, so not a lot of people were very familiar with that idea yet, but I learned about it that way. And I was like, let me take some classes. Let me take some classes in digital marketing to learn more about how do ads work on social media. I took like some summer classes to learn more about that, and I took the gamble. I was like, let me quit teaching. I took these classes. I feel like I have enough skills. My Instagram was doing well. I had a lot of content there. I've already had some paid gigs on Instagram, so I can use that as my resume, because like there's no, at the time there's no like I have a certificate for social media. There's no like I have a degree in digital marketing. It didn't exist. There was no such thing as influencer marketing back then. So you had to make it up. You literally had to make it up. So now there's so much more now, but back then you just had to literally make it up. I remember getting my first gig, one of my first jobs post teaching. I literally made a PowerPoint about my Instagram. I just showed my Instagram. I was like, look at my Instagram. I can do this for you. And that's how I was able to get the gig, but that's the gamble I took, because I wasn't making a lot of money. I was feeling my energy was being taken away. I love the kids. I want to help the kids, but I didn't feel fulfilled anymore. And you can only stretch a teacher so far before they're emotionally destroyed. So that's the point I was getting. And the only thing at the time that was making me happy, bringing me joy, was social media, as lame as that sounds. So I decided to take that pivot to Instagram, and here we are now. So far, so good.
Well, give me a second. Let me go ahead and make a PowerPoint about my Instagram really quickly. And also I wanted to say I'm really excited to be here, that I got the Pikachu out, because I know you got the Pokemon thing going.
There you go.
I got dressed fancy, so I understand what you mean about you kind of had the suit style as an educator, and you kind of carried it, and you look really good today.
Oh, thank you. Much appreciated.
And so thinking about that transition, right? A big thing in being like a Latino, Latinx, whichever way you do decide to identify yourself, family is a very big thing. Whether you have a big family, a small family, you're close to your family or distant to your family, sometimes your family are very opinionated. Mm-hmm. I'll tell you, definitely mine is. I hope they're not watching. I'm curious to see, like, when you made this decision to make that transition in your life, what were you hearing from your friends? What were you hearing from your family? Where was it? Where was your support? Was it easy to get support? It's kind of like a loaded question, but you can take it the way.
It's not a loaded question. And I know nowadays, in the year 2021, the year of our Lord, getting support for anything, being able to get encouragement is very, very important. But like I mentioned before, in 2014, what I was doing didn't exist. There was nothing to support to. Like, being a teacher makes sense. Getting a business degree and starting a business makes sense. Making content on Instagram That doesn't exist. So I remember the day when I told my family that I was quitting being a teacher. I told them on my birthday when we were having dinner together, and I'm gonna like full disclosures here. We having a family dinner at Applebee's. I love Applebee's. Applebee's, I will work with you. I will make content with you. You know, real talk. I do enjoy Applebee's. And with my family who were having Applebee's, and like in the middle of dinner, I was like, BTW, I think I'm gonna go and I was trying to make it sound cool, like I'm gonna try some digital marketing, whatever, trying to make it sound like something that's real. So I told them like I'm gonna take a break from teaching. I'm gonna take these digital marketing classes, and I'm gonna try taking this job that didn't exist yet. A key thing, obviously, save money when you can, but it was literally a gamble, and I knew that I wouldn't. And I knew that worst case scenario, we can always go back to being a teacher. I knew that if this experiment failed, I would just go back to being a teacher. Like that was the whole plan. So my parents were okay with it. They're very supportive of what I do. I actually had one friend of mine who was really worried that I was gonna not do anything after being a teacher, because a teacher is a very stable job, very, very stable, especially if you don't mess it up. But I had a friend of mine who was worried about what I was going to be doing. But other than that, I really didn't have any support. I didn't really have like now I know a lot of other content creators, like all of y'all. Now y'all are my support. Now all of you, everyone in the chat right now, you are all my support. But back then, I didn't have all of you. I was here by myself, looking at my pretty pictures of my suits and saying, how can I live from these suits, basically? And I took the gamble, but everyone, my family was supportive. They weren't like, Dieguito, this is not going to work. They didn't say that. They're like, Dieguito, you sure? You sure about that, Dieguito? So luckily they were like, whatever about it. But I think even now today, they don't know what I do or understand what I do. But they support it, So far, so good.
Do you feel like transitioning out to education into content curating, do you feel like it was a risk? Like, are you normally a risk taker?
No, I'm not a risk taker. I am negative risk. I always take calculated gambles. Unless I know I'm going to win, I usually take a risk. And I know that sounds loaded too. Like, unless I know I'm going to win, I'm going to do it. But I was pretty confident that I stumbled into something that if someone was willing to pay me money to wear a belt, I can get someone to pay me to wear their tie. Someone's going to pay me to wear their shoes. Someone's going to pay me to eat their food. And that's what became eventually influencer marketing. And I wanted to do more of that. So that exists now today still. Even in a pandemic, we can still do that. So I felt confident that I can figure this out and do it. And luckily I was able to. So far so good.
So you talked a little bit about how you kind of built your social media up, and then from there, that's where you got your first offer. And you talked about even the influence parties that you were like, or the meet and greets that you had. What made you decide, okay, I want to be a content creator? Like, why a content creator?
So I liked wearing suits, as lame as that sounds. I discovered something that I was really passionate about. And that's always I always tell people that if you're going to go into being an influencer, going into content creation, you need to find something you love. You can't just be like, I'm going to be the next PewDiePie, I'm going to be the next Pokemon, I'm going to be the next Ninja. You just don't, that doesn't just happen. Like, those people are more like once in a lifetime opportunities. But for us regular human beings, you need to find something that you care about, something you're passionate about. And for me, it was wearing suits. I remember how good I felt wearing a button down, somehow wearing a tie, wearing a blazer. And back then, I look back at my old pictures and I was like, yo, that looked like crap. But other people loved it. And that's the amazing feeling I get. I remember I would go to dive bars wearing a suit. I would go to concerts wearing a suit. I would go to like rock shows wearing a suit. I would go to like electronic shows wearing a suit. And that just became part of my persona. And obviously that also helped me and my personal brand grow, because I was like, oh, there's the guy of the suits. There's Dandy in the Bronx. So that helped to build up my own personal brand. And I made it a part of my lifestyle. And by taking pictures of it, I learned about making content. I started following other menswear blogs, uh, other businesses that created menswear content. And that's an important thing too, is figure out what your niche is, what you're passionate about, and then follow other businesses or brands to do certain things. I remember I was following this a menswear subscription box service, and at that company, I was seeing how they did their photography. It's like, oh, this is the type of content that they like, and then I would go see who they followed, and it's like, okay, this is the type of content creators that they like, and that's how I started learning that other people who did this. I started learning that my world wasn't, not to say it wasn't unique, but there was other people already inhabiting that world. So it's the key. I think it's very important to figure out what your niche is, and then find other people who are doing it, and then put your own twist on it, put your own spin on it. When I started, I didn't see other Latinos doing this. I didn't see other people in the Bronx doing this. So I felt I was filling in a niche where, to be frank, I only saw white people doing this. I only saw people in Brooklyn, Manhattan, Carajo Land doing this. So I wanted to put my own situation in there. Oh, BX Blanco, thank you so much for the subs, my friend. Mega appreciated. Hashtag blessed. Hashtag blessed. Thank you so much, BX Blanco. Send some love to BX Blanco. Much love, my friend. So now I'm like confused now, because like I've been thrown off by the gifts. But find other people who are doing your stuff. Try to fill a hole of fill in the void of what is missing, because to between you and me, social media is very, very saturated. There's many people doing the exact same thing. So like, and even in my career, there's a lot of menswear bloggers, and to be honest with you, I'll scroll through them, they all look the same. And I'm guilty too sometimes. Sometimes I might look the same. I need to change my things up a little bit. That's why I'm doing some more videos, some more reels. But like, for example, if you're a plus size black guy, do menswear. That's a niche that needs to be filled. If you're a queer person of color who likes to wear suits, that's a niche that needs to be filled. If you're a plus size lady who wears, I don't know, I can't think of anything good right now, but like, fill in those voids that are missing. Find ways to separate yourself from the noise, because that helps you also, other people find you, other like-minded individuals, other brands to find you. Because when they're searching for, look, if they're going to search for menswear influencers, there's infinite menswear influencers. Everyone and their mom is a menswear influencer. So you need to figure out what's your specific thing that makes your stuff different, so that when someone's searching for, because nowadays, especially in the year 2021, the year of our Lord, marketers are trying to find very specific niches. We want black people who are short. We want Latinos who live in the South. We want women who are in, like, they want very specific niches. But if you don't promote your niche, if you don't separate yourself from the pack, they're not going to find you. They're not going to find you. Thanks so much for the host, my friends. Does that make sense? What I was trying to say?
Yes. And I'm so into the questions and your answers, but I do want to give you a time to look at your chat, because I also know that Blanco threw in a question there.
Oh, Blanco, did you? Like, I've already lost everything, but let me go back. I can't. Oh, by the way, my friends, if you want to ask a question, please use channel points so I don't miss them, because that messes me up so hard. Or if you want to repost the question, feel free, because my eyeballs are not fast enough. By the way, thank you so much for the love, my friends, for stopping in this evening for this chat. How to be a full-time creator from hobby to job. And please, ask questions. I'm hoping to use my knowledge of how I got here. And not to say that I'm like, big stuff or anything, but I'm able to make money doing this, and I'm able to pay the bills doing this. And I just want to share this knowledge, especially as a person of color, a Bronxite. I feel that this information shouldn't be reserved to the elites. You know what I mean? Like, I wanted to have it for everybody. How does one find their niche? Bleaks Blanco asks, how do you find your niche? What what are you like? You got to figure out what do you like. Like I know people. Okay, listen to me here. You can't just like video games. Like that's just not enough just to like video games. You need to have a specific thing that you really like. Do you like speed running? Do you like doing challenges on your stream? Do you like having guests on your stream? Do you something like every stream you have a charity you want to shout out? You need to either find a niche or make up a niche for yourself. Because like for example, I stream Pokemon. I love Pokemon. And I'm now carving my Pokemon niche in. So whenever someone talks about Dandy in the Bronx, what are they going to think about? They're going to think about Pokemon. They're going to think about being the very best, like no one ever was. And I'm carving my own niche here of that. So when a brand is looking for something that's adjacent to Pokemon, adjacent to menswear, something like that, they can find me. If I am, and look, this is not to be a negative. If you start off as a variety gamer, that's completely fine. This is not to say this is a negative thing, but it makes it more difficult for a brand to pinpoint how to work with you. You know? Thank you so much for the follows, my friends. Mega appreciated. So you got to figure out what's that thing you really love. I know, for example, Mind of Melise, she was telling me she wants to be an actress. So I believe that she needs to infuse into her chat more things about acting or how she's practicing to be an actress, or even do acting stuff while streaming so that she can attract people who are interested in that. So that's how for me, I like Pokemon. I love wearing suits. I'm Latino. I'm from the Bronx. I've carved something here. I've made something here for myself. So if they're looking for a person of color that reps Pokemon, they can find me. If it makes it just easier for you to be found. English, easier to be found. So think about what you love. What are you passionate about? What's your hopes and dreams? What's your hopes and dreams? What are your goals? What's your aspirations with your channel? Just gaming? That's completely fine. If you just want to game, that is great. But that's not going to take you anywhere. If that's not what you want to be doing, that's fine. That's completely understandable and respectable. But if you want to take your channel to the next level and build a community, you need to find a common thing that brings people together. For me, is just, my love of Pokemon, my love of menswear, and just bringing people together and have positive vibes, and then bringing brands that share that with me. I want people to dress better. I want people to game better. I want people just to be better people. Manners maketh man, from the movie Kingsman. I just want people to have that positive vibe. I want to bring that to them. And that's another thing. That's why I do a morning show, because I feel like that's a great way to start your day with some positive content. And I think that's for me being a teacher, because I loved starting my day with circle time and setting the tone for the whole day. That's like, I am giving you a circle time. We're starting the day right. But that's how I believe you should find your niche, something that you love, that is passionate about.
So what is your favorite thing about being a content creator, influencer? What's your favorite thing that you're like, this is the thing that I love the most, whether it's getting some free swag or just talking to people, networking? What's the number one thing that comes to mind when I say your favorite thing?
Well, I look, I get a lot of free things. Real talk.
I'm not upset.
Yeah, I get a lot of free things. I know, right? So when I first started this, in the beginning was free, obviously the free stuff. Like I was getting free product. I have infinite ties at this point, infinite menswear accessories, but then at a certain point, those things didn't bring me joy anymore. The joy, what came for me, was collaborating with brands that I cared about, and then also networking and meeting like-minded individuals. So I've made some amazing content creator friends through blogging. Even here, I remember when I started my Twitch, the first thing I thought was I need to find other Bronx Twitch people to collaborate with. And BX Blanco, I don't remember specifically how I discovered you. I think it was maybe like a reshare from the Bronx Native or something like that. But I specifically, when I first started, I knew the first thing I wanted to do was find other Bronx creatives. And that's one of my favorite things about being a content creator, is finding other people who know the struggle, who know what you're going through, who know, for me, like knowing to get the perfect shot, knowing why your overlays are messing up, or knowing like what are the best menswear brands. And plus that makes me feel less crazy because I know what I'm thinking is not crazy because I have other people who are thinking the same thing. So for me, it's being able to meet like-minded individuals, go to events. I've been to so many parties pre-COVID. I would be literally like drinking every day, and I'm actually kind of glad because I had to cut back a little bit. I was literally going to a party every day, thanks to content creating, because I would go to all these blogger events, and I do miss that a little bit, but it's still nice. I still have friends that I gained from that, and thanks to social media, thanks to the internet, thanks to Twitch, I'm still able to have those connections and build new ones.
So you talked a lot about learning menswear, learning kind of overlays, for example. So what was something that you like, or what were some things that you had to learn getting into this career path, right? What are some programs that you had to learn, skills you had to gain, to get yourself ready to kind of like full force get into what you do?
Yeah, that's a very good question because I didn't like go to school for this. I don't think anyone, well, nowadays you can go to school for this, but I didn't go to school for this. And Tiny asked the question, do I feel tired from doing content? Yeah, now definitely I feel tired doing this, but you balance it out by creating stuff that you love. And in terms of tools and how do I learn how to do this, it was just pretty much trying and guessing and failing. I remember back then, like when I learned you were able to upload an actual photo from an actual camera into Instagram, that was a game changer. When I remember like working with like real photographers with real cameras, and then getting those photos and uploading to Instagram. That was a game changer because back then everyone was like camera phone, camera phone, camera phone. So being able to learn that to do that was great, and I think that's how you learn, is just by surrounding yourself with other people who are doing the same thing. Because I learned so many Instagram tips and tricks from my fellow content creators, and even on Twitch now, I'm learning from y'all. Like I'll watch some of your streams, and I'll get some ideas, and I'll learn some moves that I want to try myself. And I know y'all are watching my things as well, and you're learning moves, and you're learning techniques, and you are asking me, what to do. And I love that because that's the whole point. I'm influencing you. You're influencing me. That's the whole balance. And so before we go to the next question, nowadays when I'm doing my photography, these are my main apps I use for photography. I use Lightroom to edit my photos. I use I'm looking at my phone real quick. I forgot the apps. LumaFusion to edit all my videos, and I use Video Leap to edit my photos. I do all my content creation on my iPad and my phone. I don't create on a PC or desktop computer. I create everything on my phone. So that's the thing. You don't need a PC to do all this stuff. Well, I need a PC to stream. That's the only problem. If I didn't need a PC to stream, I wouldn't be using a PC. But for my digital content that I do on Instagram, on YouTube, on Twitter, everything's done on the phone and on my iPad. So, hey, William Rodriguez, welcome to the chat, my friend. So those are my favorite apps to do stuff. Another one, Mojo, and I use that app to create fancy Instagram stories as well. There are paid upgraded versions of that. LumaFusion does cost money. Some of these apps are so worth it, though. One thing I have learned from content creating is time is money, friend. Why waste my time trying to do something for free when I can just pay something to get it done immediately? Do not waste your time to like hack the system to try to like finagle something for free when you can just save all that time and energy and use that money. That's why you have to be smart with your money choices. Don't just buy anything willy-nilly. Buy things that are going to use in the future to help your brand grow and create.
So you did talk about kind of like being influenced, like you're influencing people, and like if they purchase something or if they kind of join you in a mindset or something that you believe in, you're influencing them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And before we even got into the stream, right, we were talking about gaming, and I told you that I was actually influenced to buy a Switch and do Animal Crossing.
There we go.
So my question to you is, right, gaming is something you didn't start with gaming.
Mm-hmm.
Where did gaming come? Like, where did the idea of being a gamer? Where did the idea of, hey, let me just join Twitch? Like, where does that come from that you created this amazing Twitch that you're hosting us on
Oh,
now?
thank you. Okay, stop. You're making me blush. Stop it. So I'm about to go over here to your stream real quick. There you go. So what happened was, so actually, let me give you a quick storyline of my passions. So initially, I was a big tech fan. I loved like anything related to tech, like phones. I would follow tech blogs. That was what I was passionate about, and I would listen to podcasts about tech. My dream was to be a tech blogger. I wanted to review phones, review monitors. That was my hopes and dreams. Oh, thank you so much for the sub, Enlightened by Bravery. Much love, much love. And that's what I was passionate about. That could have been my niche, maybe. That could have been where I went to. So, but then I went into menswear because I was really passionate about that. And then from there, I was always a gamer. I'm a big nerd. I've been gaming all my life. I've been playing Pokemon since Red and Blue version. My dad actually introduced me to gaming. We had an Atari. My uncle had like an NES. My first video game system was a Super Nintendo, Super Mario World, and then I became passionate about gaming. I had gaming magazines. I was reading. I'm trying to remember all the magazines, but I remember Nintendo Power. What was the name of the Pro? What was the name of that magazine? Darn it.
Game Informer.
Game Informer. Chat, remind me what was the gaming magazines from a million years ago? Nintendo Power, Game Pro. Thank you, Bear Claw. I remember Game Pro, EGM. There was one for PlayStation called PSX. I was a big fan of, and I was subscribing to all of them because I was absorbing so much content. I was passionate about that already. But back then, I in elementary school, in the school newspaper, I had a column. I was reviewing video games. So that was it's one way I was using my passion, trying to take those passions and put them into places. So whatever you're passionate about, whether it be gaming, tech blogs, or whatever, put it somewhere. So I had a gaming. I reviewed games on my school's newspaper. Then I was part of forums. I would enter chats. I would be in like heated discussions about what was better, Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy VIII, crazy stuff like that. I would just be a part of that. But I didn't know that I didn't think that was a job. Game journalism, yeah, that was initially something that I was passionate about. And from there, because I didn't know that was a job. A lot of these things, those were not real things to me. Then eventually, as an adult, looking back on it now, I was like, oh man, I could have definitely done hard pivots back then in the past too. If I would have known better, I could have gone into game journalism. I could have gone into tech reviewing. I could have gone into any of that stuff. But the gamer stuff never stopped. I became friends with a lot of people who were into gaming. I joined like video game clubs at school, after school clubs I would do for gaming. But gaming in general. So it wasn't just video games. It would be trading card games. It would be D&D. It would be PC gaming. It would be Dance Dance Revolution tournaments after school. It was all gaming encompassed that I was being a part of. It wasn't until now, during the pandemic, I knew of Twitch for a very long time. Actually, I had a Twitch account for like 10 years, and I kind of wish I didn't do anything with it. But I was like, since the pandemic is here, I really have to really pivot and change what I do. Let me get into Twitch. Let me try to take all that energy and bring it into Twitch, because I've been watching so much other people's Twitch, other people's YouTubes, and then just picking out things that I liked. I always, it's always important to watch a lot of other people's content so you can learn, you can pick up things. Like a lot of the things that I'm doing on this channel, I learned from other people's channels, and I'm just picking and choosing things that I like to build up my own personal brand, So the gaming stuff, I'm not a fake gamer. I hate that word, fake gamer. I think that's the most BS term in the world. I have very specific gaming tastes. I play Smash Brothers. I play. The only thing I'm not a big fan of, first-person shooters that much. But I do play Overwatch and Team Fortress 2. Like, I'm very specific type of FPSs I'm a big fan of. But RPGs are the stuff that brings me to life. I love Chrono Trigger. I love Final Fantasy VII, Secret of Mana, Legend of Zelda, Earthbound. That's what every RPG, every Final Fantasy game I would always be buying. So being able to take that energy, that passion now into Twitch has been great, because now I'm able to find other people who are also passionate about what I'm passionate about. And I think that's the key thing. Whatever you're doing, be passionate about it, because then you'll be able to attract people who are also passionate about that.
You said Dance Dance Revolution. Should we expect a stream of Dance Dance Revolution from Dandy in the Bronx?
Yo, I played hardcore DDR back in the day, and actually in the chat, I know I have a buddy of mine who also knows what's up in terms of DDR. DDR, Step Mania, Pump It Up, all those games right there. I don't know. I don't have my pads anymore, sadly. I haven't been playing those games in a while, but if I'm able to get a machine or something like that, I would love to do a stream like that. I think it would be hilarious, honestly.
We have to make it happen. We have to see those dance moves. Well, I also have two more questions, but I wanted to give you time to look at the chat.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. By the way, my friends, I've just been in the zone answering your questions, and I just appreciate everyone who's been in the chat so far. Friends, please, thank you so much for the subs. Hold on, let me see my sounds work. I gotta send some yours in the chat. Much love to Doughboy. Much love to the Bronx Gaming Network. I saw Poet Gamer was here earlier in the chat. Thank you so much. Mind of Melise. Thank you so much. Full Deck Collectibles, one of my amazing sponsors. Thank you so much. If you're trying to be the very best, like no one ever was, if you're trying to catch them all, get all the Pokemon cards, please check out Full Deck Collectibles and get 5% off your order with the code DANDY. So let's see what else. Inject Heathen, much love. Oh, Jelly Gum, thank you so much for the follow, my friend. Welcome to the chat. Sam Pop, thank you so much for thank you so much for being here. Mr. Murrow Streams, thank you so much for being here. Much love. Let's see. Try playing Soul Calibur 2 Dance. Oh my god. Yeah, my friend here, Bear Claw, we went to college together, and he was hardcore about DDR, and he would actually play other games using the DDR pad. So much power to him. There you go. Hey, so hey, like I said, friends, if you have any more questions about what I do, please feel free to ask me. This is your chance to like pick my brain, and I want to help you out, because I want you to be the very best. I want you to I don't want your Twitch, your social media to just be a pretty face, a pretty picture, you need to be able to bring value with your social media. And I think that's the thing where a lot of people forget. Posting a pretty picture is no longer enough, and I've learned that too. Like, my whole thing was like, I need to post pretty pictures. I need to post a good suit. That's no longer enough anymore. Being able to bring value to your audience is important, whether it be tips about fashion, like in my instance, Enlightened by Bravery. She's an amazing chef, so she's giving like chef recipes, like tips and tricks. Mr. Murrow Streams is trying to teach people new different streaming techniques or new apps to use. I'm trying to see what else. BX Blanco, he's trying to connect Bronxites and people of color together to build up their Twitch streams. Figure out what's that thing that that brings value to other people's lives, because now with social media, like, you just can't just post a photo and expect a ton of likes. you need to be able to post something that makes me look at it and like, oh man, yo, I need to learn more about this. And of course, I'm gonna be talking about myself, but give me a second here. Like for example, I did a post earlier today about how to be more sustainable with your clothing, because that's a really big thing that's important to me right now, especially with like a lot of fast fashion and a lot of waste that's going in the world. So my post today, I was telling my audience that here are 3 tips on how to be more sustainable. 1, shop vintage, thrift your clothing. This smoking jacket I'm wearing is I got at I thrifted it. I got it at this place called Manhattan Vintage. It's, I believe, from the 40s. I paid a pretty penny for it. But the thing is about vintage and thrifting is that you're not creating any waste. It's already been created, so you're not creating more garbage in the world. Think about it, it's like paying it forward with clothing. So shop vintage, shop thrifting. Then 2, tailoring. Go to your local tailor. Thrift. When you thrift your clothes, if it doesn't fit, get it altered. I think a lot of people don't take advantage of your local tailor to fix your clothes. So I think the key thing here is go to your tailor. Go to in the Bronx. By the way, in the Bronx, if you're in the Bronx, there are so many dry cleaners that have built-in tailors in there. Bring your blazer there. Bring a t-shirt there. Bring those pants that are too baggy and get it fixed. And especially if you're in the Bronx, it's wild cheap. It's like 10 to 20 bucks depending on what it is. So why are you spending $100 on new pairs of jeans when you can just get the jeans you're wearing and get them modified? So tailoring, alteration, very important. And then the third thing I was talking about was shopping local and shopping made in America. H&M doesn't need our money anymore. Banana Republic doesn't need our money anymore. Zara does not need our money anymore. Thrift your clothes and shop from places that you know that they're going to use that money to pay their bills. Find your local streetwear brand that you like, because you know exactly where that money is going. When you're buying something from Zara, you don't know where that money is going. Who is getting paid here? Who is and I know it sucks. There is no ethical consumption under capitalism. Let's be real here. But that's why you have to be deliberate with the money that you use. Support your local businesses. So I'm trying to bring value to my audience of that information. Think about it that way when you're posting,
Okay, just like I asked you about your education experience, if you could describe your influencer / content creating / gamer and twitching experience into one word, I'm so sorry, all that in one word, what word would it be and why?
Well, I was about to say coño, but it's not the right word. What is okay? How to describe everything? Let's see. That's a tough question, because it's a combination of so many different things. What I do. The thing is, and okay, once again, to not sound like I'm repeating myself, but like value. I want to bring value to you. I don't want you to just go on my Instagram and be like, pretty pictures. So yes, pretty pictures. It does help. 100% does help. But I want you to take away something from my social media. I want you to be able, like, I learned something new. I want you to be able to leave Instagram knowing that you learned something, a new tidbit. And I want you, also as content creators, to be able to give that to other people. Value. When I post on my blog, when I'm doing things like this, when I'm having interviews, I want to bring value to your life. Whether it be having fun, of course. Value is also having fun, having a good time, being able to make you smile. That is value. Teaching you how to be more sustainable. That is value. Teaching you where to shop. That is value. How to be a better streamer. Be a better streamer. That is value. So that's what I'm hoping to bring with everything that I do. Bring you value.
So I took a look at your chat. Mm-hmm. I know I'm not supposed to.
No, okay. No, actually, real talk, Ashley. If you're able to see the questions, please pull the questions out for me, because this is not. I can't. My brain is fried right now.
So Blue Tay 93, I believe I got that right, hopefully.
Mhm.
He asks, have you ever felt like has there ever been a time where you felt demotivated? And if so, how did you overcome that? Like how did you get out of that mindset?
Yeah, Blue Tay, that's a very good question. Well, like honestly, this past couple of weeks, I've been the most demotivated in a very long time. I've been feeling moments of what's even the purpose of all this? Like, why am I even doing this? Am I even bringing value to my own self? And I had to really like step back and think about, why am I doing this? Does this make me even happy anymore? And what am I even trying to do in the first place? Because with the whole state of the world right now, I just wasn't feeling very happy. I felt very nihilistic, if that's the right word, nihilistic. That, like, who cares about suits right now? The world might end at any moment, you know? So what I was able to do is still stream, still connect with other people that, they're just looking for a good time. They're still trying to forget the bad stuff. So that's the value that I bring to them, and they're bringing me value by them bringing me value by me not hating the world so much and being so sad. I do encourage taking big breaks. I think I didn't post for about like 2 weeks. Just recently, I just posted my first post today. I did two posts today. I did a reel this morning, and I did a post to promote tonight's event. And I feel a little bit better because I was able to take a break. I'm still watching the news like an idiot, but at least I'm not on my phone so much. And then if I am on my phone, I'm looking at positive stuff. Or if I am going to be on the internet, I'm surrounded by positive people, or people that are like-minded and know what that we're in here in the struggle together. So yes, I do get demotivated all the time, and especially now recently. And I think the key thing is to step back, reevaluate what you're doing, what your purpose is, and know that you can still bring value in other ways. Yeah.
I want to let that sit because that resonated a lot with me. I think with this pandemic and everything's going on in politics in our life and just overall in general, I think we could all resonate with what you just said. And I respect you for being completely honest. Right. A lot of times, unfortunately, like in the Latinx like community, mental health and self-care is more of a stigma than it is something that's like
Very
norm.
true. Very true.
And so for you to come out and say that, right, like to admit I've been like not motivated and I needed a push or I needed something, like I needed to reset and care for myself. That is such a good message in itself that I think people need to hear more,
Mm-hmm.
because it's not something that we do norm. It's not something that people are like, hey, I don't feel good, kind of like yelling to the world. So I
Mm-hmm.
definitely want to let that soak.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and then
I
yeah, go.
just want to chime in, like, I don't know, like, especially our parents, especially like our families' generations, our parents, our grandparents, mental health doesn't exist to them. It's not a real thing, like basically sleep it off or whatever. But feel confident that you can talk about it with either other people. If it's not your family, find friends, you know find therapy, find something, find someone that you can chat with. You talk to the Bronx Gaming Network, talk to us, like at least get stuff off your chest, because life is tough and life is short, and we shouldn't be sad all the time. There's no reason to be sad. We can still be positive. It's just being able to find the right people to bring that value into our lives.
And so some of the questions that I kept seeing in your chat when I was taking a little peek, was a lot of questions about like how can people improve their stream and how to improve themselves and boost their social media. So my last question here is to everyone that's watching, whether they want that they're in a streamer or they want to be a content creator, or even if they're considering a life change,
Mm-hmm.
right? This is what all this has been about. What is the advice that you give to them? And it doesn't need to be like a one sentence deal. Like, what's
No.
the like advice that you either would love to give or that you wish you gotten when you were going through this transition?
I think the key thing is now that what I'm doing is no longer, not to say it's not unique, but it's more widespread. I know now that I'm not the only person doing this. So I think the key thing is to find other people who are going through the same struggle as you, whether it be on social media or your close personal friends, and talk to them. Think about like, hey, I'm just not happy with what I'm doing. There's a person in my job that sucks. I hate the business. I love, like, air out your grievances. Talk about it, because I think what we end up doing is bottling up a lot of emotions. Like, it's okay to scream into a pillow. It's okay to like yell out into the sky and to tell someone about it. Tell your friends about it. It's like, yo, I'm so mad because of X, Y, and Z, So I tell people, you need to find other people and connect with them, and then think about what you want to be doing in life. Money's still technically important, sadly. We got to pay the bills. Trying to find that balance. Like, for example, you can still be a teacher, but maybe on the side, you do a once a night stream or something like that. Figure out what you want to be doing. What you actually want to be doing for stream. Maybe for you, streaming is literally just a way to zone out and make new friends. Like, you don't have to make money on Twitch. You can just stream if you want to stream. But if you want to stream and make it a business eventually, figure out what are those things that you want to promote, things that are unique to you, your niche that you want to talk about with other people. Like, for example, Enlightened by Bravery, she's a chef. So she made her own cooking show. There you go. And like, not everything on Twitch has to be gaming. That's another thing I think we forget as well. Like, we think Twitch is only for gamers. It's for anything, honestly. What do you want to talk about? Like, for example, here we're having a talk show here. This is not gaming. Are we gaming here? Like, we have a Pikachu there, but we're not gaming. Figure out what's that thing you want to be talking about and doing, and that you're passionate about. Don't just do it just to do it. You need to do something that you wake up every morning, you're like, I can't wait to freaking do this. I can't wait to hop on stream and talk about Pokemon. I can't wait to hop on stream and show off a blazer. I can't wait to hop on stream and see my friends from Connecticut, the UK, the Midwest, Western New York, Boogie Down Bronx, Manhattan, London, everywhere in the world. That makes me happy now that I have that. And you need to find what's that thing that makes you happy to make you feel like the very best, like no one ever was. So that's the thing. What makes you happy, and what's that value you bring to people? Are you bringing value?
That is, wow. Yeah, let that sink in, right? Talking about value, your purpose, and also what makes you happy. Wow. Like, for me, that was the end of my questions, Dandy. I am so appreciative and grateful that you took this time to let me grill you, like you said, right? Get into your life. And for you to open up and let everyone in, all the viewers, all my friends that are coming into the chat, like they're even like, they were so excited. I woke up this morning like, yes, I can't wait. This is something I look forward to. This is what gives me energy. And I think I'm walking away.
That's the thing.
Motivated.
What brings you energy? You're hyped. You actually brought me value in my life when you asked me that question. So that's the amazing part. Like, what brings how can we bring each other value? And that's a great thing about the Bronx Gaming Network, where we're able to connect with each other and bring each other value. And then with that value, bring it to other people, because that's what helps us keep going. That's what helps us wake up in the morning, Like, yes, I can wake up in the morning and have a bunch of Café Bustelo, but, I want to get also hyped by my friends, by you, by amazing content. So, I don't want us to quit yet. I know there was a bunch of questions that people were asking and they got lost in the chat. So please, friends, please ask your question again in the chat. We're gonna go into chat mode right there. Thank you, Albino Rhino, for the follow. Mega appreciated. There you go. Oh, guys, this is my bedazzled Café Bustelo can. I did some content for Café Bustelo a long time ago. And by the way, so here's a funny story. JVia Arts, thank you so much for the follow. this Café Bustelo, I did a collaboration, Café Bustelo, and this is the only reason, because of Café Bustelo, this is the only reason why my grandmother, my abuela, knows what I do. Because she understands now that I make commercials. That's how I explain it to my grandmother, that I make commercials, which I am, by creating content for brands, you know? Yo, Stan the Man, thank you so much for the gifts. Mega, mega appreciated. So, like, with this, Café Bustelo, this also reminds me I'm able to connect with people that might not understand what I'm doing. So, cuando yo estoy con mi abuela, and my abuela dice, Dieguito, ¿qué tú haces hoy día? And it's like, oh, estoy haciendo un comercial con Café Bustelo. And she knows Café Bustelo. She knows the brand. And I can show off this bedazzled Café Bustelo to be like, look, I brought value into your life with Café Bustelo. You know?
I'm a little jealous. I kind of want my own. I have Mr. Mortal Streams in your chat saying, what did you bring from Instagram to Twitch and vice versa?
What did I bring from Instagram to Twitch and vice versa? So one thing, oh man, all these subs. Thank you so much, my friends. Hold on. But for my friends, because of this amazing sub, you know, thank you so much, my friends.
Whoa.
Thank you so much, my friends. Thank you so much, my friends. Mega, mega appreciated. Mega appreciated. You all bring me value. Thank you, my friends. Now hold on. I need to reset my brain because I was so filled with joy. Thanks to all of you all. What was I about to say? Can you please repeat your question, Ashley? I'm lost now.
Of course. No worries. I'm just writing down the questions that I see. So, Mr. Mortal Stream asks, what did you bring from Instagram to your Twitch and vice versa?
So one thing, many things. So basically, Instagram chiseled me into this content creator. Basically, what I do on Instagram, I bring to every social media channel I do. It's consistency. It's engaging with my audience. It's being available when people message me. So I always tell people that you need to be consistent. If you're a streamer, if you're a content creator, if you're an Instagrammer, Pinterester, YouTuber, TikToker, Twitcherer, you got to be consistent. Oh, thank you so much for the bits, Bear Claw. Mega love. Much love to Western New York, my friends. Consistency. If you post once a week, once a month, I don't know who you are. You don't exist. And I hate saying this, but if you don't post, you don't exist. As lame as that sounds. So when I was in hardcore Instagram mode, I was posting every day. Every day I was posting. Nowadays, not so much, but I still have a consistent schedule. So if you're on Twitch, you need to stream consistently every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, every Thursday, Friday, every Friday. Pick a day that works for you so people know when you're going to be on. And you know, it's lame, but like a lot of the people in the chat right now, sometimes I don't know when y'all are streaming. Some of it is very random and all over the place. Having a schedule and the schedule that you like burn into my brain, that I know that someone is always going to be on Monday, then I know I'm going to be ready on Monday to watch that person. One of the things I always preach on my social media, I like, you know, you're going to get a post from Dandy at this certain time. On Twitch, you know I'm going to be here Monday, Wednesday, Fridays at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here in the Boogie Down Bronx. So that is now stuck in my viewers' minds, that they know I'm going to be here. So being consistent, reminding my audience, creating like just little gimmicks so my audience knows who I am. My favorite thing is when I text someone good morning and they tell me that they heard me say that in their mind. That brings me joy. That brings me value. You know, so find something that people can remember, you know, who you are and what you're doing all the time. Now,
I remember I definitely told you that.
Yeah. You're not the first person to tell me that. So every time I see that, every time someone says, "Hey Diego, what's up?" and I text them, "Good morning, good afternoon," and you're creating your own brand in your everyday life, as lame as that is. You know, like that's the key thing. Create your brand in life.
One of the other questions was from the albino rhino. He was asking for advice for anyone who wanted to start like a podcast or something where it's kind of different in Twitch, where it's just them chatting with their audience. Any advice for that?
Well, look at what are we doing now? What are we doing literally right now, my friend? We're doing the exact same thing. We're just chatting. So I follow some podcasts. So I'll tell you the podcasts I listen to and why I like them. So I follow this podcast about Magic the Gathering, one of my favorite games. It's called the Magic the Gathering Goldfish podcast, something along those lines. And I follow it because they cover Magic the Gathering news, but then also I love the personalities of the people who are talking in the podcast. I find them funny, and plus I'm getting my Magic the Gathering news at the same time. That brings me value listening to that podcast because I get to get updated with Magic the Gathering news, and plus I'm listening to these guys. I find them funny. It makes me feel good, you know? The other podcast I listen to, it's a tech podcast. It's called Waveform, and it's just a tech podcast, and they talk about the latest things in tech, and I find it very insightful. They go really deep in about tech. And another one is a news podcast called from the Verge Casts from The Verge. And I love following technology because I've never stopped loving tech. I'm still in my heart, I'm like, I wish I could still be a tech blogger, but I know I can't. I'm not going to bother trying. But I still listen to that podcast because I love the tech news, but then I also love the characters, the people who are talking in the Verge Cast. I love it. So if you're going to make a podcast about people talking, pick a topic, obviously, and then finding what you can talk about for like 2 hours or 1 hour or whatever, and make it bring value to someone. Whether it be is it a comedy podcast, is it a news podcast, is it a gaming podcast? Like maybe there's a podcast about Final Fantasy and every episode is a different Final Fantasy and you have a guest talk about it. I think that's been done before, so that's why I said that. But maybe you have a Pokemon podcast that every episode you talk about only one Pokemon. So you have technically like 900 episodes you can do. So think about what's that thing that you can do and talk about, and then make it consistent. So I know that here's a pro tip I've heard with podcasts: spend an entire year recording the podcast. Do like 100 episodes the entire year, and the next year you can be like every week. Boom! It's like your first season right there. Or maybe spend 3 months recording 50 episodes. Don't tell anybody about it, by the way. Don't spill the beans. I'm a big fan of not telling people what you're working on until you have it ready. Maybe tell some of your friends and family, but don't tell the world that you're doing this yet, because if it doesn't work, then no one's going to get mad at you about it. So with a podcast, and this is my plan too, I just haven't done it because now I'm doing Twitch. I consider this now my podcast, my living podcast. So pick maybe 3 months, 2 months, and record 100 episodes, 50 episodes, whatever your first season is, 10 episodes, I don't know. And then once you have the 10 episodes ready, you could be like, all right, it's live. Every 2 weeks, you'll get an episode. Every week, every Tuesday at 9 p.m., the next episode drops. So people know that they'll be ready. And then at the end of the first season, you can hype people up for the next season. And when the first season is going, you can start working on your second season. So you can like double up on your content. Does that make sense?
Yeah, you're talking about being consistent. And so another question came in from Louis Cali Boy, where you have to be consistent when you content create. How do you deal with the burnout that eventually comes with that?
Oof, burnout is real. And just like feeling depressed and feeling that your content is like not going anywhere and feeling that why am I even doing this in the first place? It's important to take breaks and to talk to people about it. Don't internalize it and feel like you have to just keep creating. If you're burning out, maybe it's time to be more lax with what you're outputting, especially if you're creating something every day. Maybe bring it down a notch. Talk to your audience. Be like, hey audience, I'm going to take a little break. I'm going to change my schedule up. Be genuine. Be transparent. Especially now in the year 2021, AD, being transparent is no longer a bad thing. Just telling your audience like, hey, life sucks. I need to take a break right now. And if your audience really cares about you, they'll stick around. And if they don't, then you didn't bring them value. And that's not a bad thing. Losing people is not a bad thing, because you only want people that care about what you're talking about. I definitely have a lot of followers who no longer engage in my content. And to be honest with you, I wish they just unfollowed me, because I'd rather have people who are around, comment, and like, because that's what you want at the end of the day. Numbers don't mean anything if those numbers don't translate into likes, comments, and clicks. That's the most important part. Having a vanity number like 40K, a vanity number like 100K doesn't mean anything if no one's liking, no one's commenting, no one's clicking. So that's the most important part, first of all. Organic.
Yes. So I haven't seen any other questions in the chat, but if you guys have questions, I'm scoping out the chat, and I'm asking Dandy in the Bronx all your questions.
Yeah, feel free, my friends. Like I said, this is a time for you. Like, I want all of you to succeed. That's the whole point. I want to bring value to your life, and I want you to be able to, be hyped about your next stream. I want you all to get gigs. I want you to make money. I want you to pay the bills. But if you don't want that goal either with your Twitch, that's fine too. But I want you to be able to do whatever you're doing to be great at it and to bring value to people, whether you're going to be an actress, whether if you're going to be a podcaster, whether you're going to be the best Spelunky 2 video game streamer in the world, if you're going to be the best masseuse in the world, if you're going to be the best finance person in the world, if you're going to be the best coordinator, community coordinator, whatever it is, I want you to be the very best, like no one ever was.
Someone was talking about how transparency is such a huge thing.
Mm-hmm.
So many creators aren't, and just leave their audience in the dark. And so I thought of a question. My question is, do you ever get nervous? Because everything that goes into the internet, sometimes, they say stays in the internet.
True,
do you ever get nervous about what you output or whatever you give out to the world when it comes to your whatever social media you're using, whether it's Twitch or Instagram?
I think about it this way. The people that follow me, the people that I interact with, are people that I would want to actually hang out in real life. I'm not here to make friends with people I don't want to be friends with. Like, I'm not here to be to be everyone's friend. I know my niche. I know the people who want to follow me. I'm not trying to be accessible to everyone. And I know that sounds kind of weird, but if you try to cast your net, you're going to get people that you don't want to be associated with anyway. So think about your own friend group or your own followers. You're creating content for them. And if I say something and I'm worried about if it's going to make my followers angry, then they don't care about me in the first place. Because if they've been following me, they know my values. They know my hopes and dreams. They know what I care about. And that's an important thing too. Like, start talking about that stuff, because it's stuff that you would care about in real life too, and it's not like I'm not going to be like the people, if they're mad at me for something I said, great, don't follow me. Why are you following me? Why are you here? Unfollow me. I'll help you. You can unfollow. You can force people to unfollow you on Instagram. I do that all the time. I have people follow me. I'm like, nope, you're now unfollowed, and luckily there's no notification for that. It's like having a well-rounded Pokemon team. You want Pokemon that are able to help you in different situations, no matter what you're doing. You want to be a well-rounded team. So don't put things that are not going to, help you in battle. Why associate yourself with people that aren't going to help you? Why associate yourself with people that are going to bring you down? If you're going to post something and you're worried that it's going to turn people off, then they were not your friends in the first place, right? Like that, it defeats the whole purpose. And good, because then that brings my engagement rate up. If less people who don't care about me are unfollowing me.
So JVO Arts, he said, Dandy, I see that you do both content creating and styling. So my question for you is, has there ever been a time where you combine the two, other than styling for this podcast? And if so, what ideas have you done and how have you accomplished that?
Oh, that's a really good question, and thank you so much for that question. So part of so I didn't go to school to be a stylist or anything like that. Like I didn't go to FIT or anything like that. I pretty much just I like what I like and hoping I can teach other people how to dress well based on what I know. And combining it too is just doing like being here, just doing this. Sometimes on my morning streams, I'm wearing an outfit, and sometimes a viewer will ask me like what I'm wearing, and I'm able to go deep into why I picked this, the brands that I worked with to create that outfit, what tie I'm wearing. So it's like a living version of my Instagram, where I'm able to have a one-to-one conversation about what I'm wearing. On Instagram, when I post an outfit, I have to wait for someone to leave a comment, and then I drop a comment, and sometimes it's very vapid. Like I do appreciate when someone just drops a heart emoji, like as a comment on my Instagram, and I'll reply back with another heart emoji. Okay, whatever, but I do appreciate that. It's good for engagement. Don't not stop giving me heart emojis, but at least on Twitch, I can actually be like, here's the tie I'm wearing. Here's this smoking jacket I'm wearing. Here's how I got it. Here's how you can make it work. Here's alternatives to do that. If you're looking for a smoking jacket, here are some good brands to check out. And then I'm able to bring brands as well. If people have been watching my channel before, I had a leisure wear, streetwear brand called Basics by Hill visit the chat, and he came in the chat kind of like this, and I did an unboxing video of getting his clothing, and then we were able to talk about it and like how I would style it. And actually one of my buddies here in the chat, he actually ended up buying joggers from the brand via the conversation. So that's how I'm able to make that Instagram and bring it into my Twitch and make it more organic and real that way, because I'm able to have a one-on-one conversation that way. I can't do that as much on Instagram, and even on Instagram Live. I prefer this way much more.
Any other questions on the chat? Because there is another question. So my question for you, Dandy, is given my current numbers, is it possible to entice a local brand to engage with me? This is BX Blanco.
BX Blanco. That's a very good question. And a lot of people always ask about, all right, how many followers do I need to have before I can, quote unquote, make money? Like, do I need 1,000 followers? Do I need 10,000 followers? I would say back when I first started, it was very important to have numbers, because at the end of the day, marketers only care about numbers. At the end of the day, that's all they care about. But I think nowadays, and I know I sound like a broken record, but it's how you're going to bring value to the brand. Biggs Blanco, your numbers doesn't completely represent what you're all about. You also have other people. You have me. You have Preacher of Valor. You have Doughboy. You have Mind of Melise. You have Ashley Laura. You have all these other humans that you can bring together, Captain Planet style, to have a way to entice brands to work together. If it's just you, like by yourself, then maybe it's a little bit tougher, but you got to use everything. It's like a conglomeration. Oh, Casey Mao, welcome to the chat, my friend. Thank you. I'm glad you like this. But what you got to do is when you send a proposal to a brand, and let me get into proposal mode right here. Give me a second here. All right, when you get into proposal mode, I gotta show the brand what are different things I can give them. Just saying that I have 40,000 followers doesn't mean anything, honestly. It literally means nothing. What can I give them? They need pictures. They need videos. They need content in different social media platforms. They need Pinterest. They need Instagram stories. So usually in my pitch to a brand will reach out to me and be like, hey, Diego, hey, Dandy in the Bronx, we want to send you a belt. What can we do together? So then I would say, hey, that sounds amazing. Your belts look cool. First of all, I got to actually like the product. I think a lot of people just think that influencers will promote anything. Some will, realistically. I don't. I feel like I'm at a certain point where I'm very lucky where I can pick and choose. I can say no. I've had some really interesting collaborations where they were offering money, and I passed them down because it wasn't on brand. That's another thing too. So in my email, I will be like, okay, this belt, well, I can write a blog post for you and I'll have analytics. I could be like, oh, I get X amount of hits on my blog. I can do an Instagram post. I can do an Instagram carousel post. So that means like multiple pictures in one picture. I can do an in-feed Instagram reel for your post. I can do X amount of Instagram stories across a period of time. So for example, I can be like, I'll promote your belt and I'll do 2 Instagram stories a week or 1 Instagram story a week. You're like literally breaking down every aspect that you can offer to the brand. You can say that I'll follow the brand. I'll engage on your brand's page. You can sell this, that you will engage on that brand for the time of the sponsorship. And then I also mentioned that I also have Pinterest that has a sizable following, and I create different types of content on Pinterest. So I'll be like, all right, I can also post on Pinterest. I can also, and there's another thing too. Even if and I have TikTok, but I don't have like any followers on TikTok. But if the brand needs a TikTok, I can make a TikTok for you that they can use on their own. So that doesn't even require me having followers. That just requires me making a cool video for the brand that they can use on their own. So it's being able to break down these little things that you can sell to the brand. Let me give you an example. I recently did a collaboration with Sperry, the shoe brand. They mostly make boat shoes. They reached out to me and they were like, we want you to do a video. And we want you to do an IGTV, and that's it. And then they wanted also photos, but the photos, they didn't want me to post them. They wanted the photos on their own. Because I was able to build my own reputation of having nice photos. They just wanted the photos for they can use it on their own. So now I'm selling photography to the brand. I'm selling shoe content to the brand. And then, of course, making an IGTV. So you're selling now all these different things. So for example, BX Blanco, maybe you're not selling a shout out. Maybe you're selling to them. It's like, hey, you're selling to them that you'll make them a Twitch. Maybe you're selling to them that you'll make them a Discord. Maybe you're selling to them that you'll do a workshop. Like maybe you're not just selling a shout out. Like who cares about a shout out? You're giving them a different kind of value for their social media. And then recently, because I did a decent job for Sperry's, last week they literally emailed me. It's like, hey Diego, we need content, and you don't even have to post it. We will pay you, but we need a turnaround time of 1 day. And I was like, what? And they're like, we'll pay you more than your original rate. So I was like, all right, what's up? And what's up? And they were like, we have 3 pairs of shoes. We need X amount of content for each. Can you do it? And I, gave my number. They said, if you can do it, we will pay you. They wanted 1 day turnaround time. They FedExed that thing and it came in less than 1 day. It was like less than 1 day shipping. Like it was OD fast. So, and luckily I was able to find a photographer and knock it out. I edited the photos at night. I mailed it to them. They liked it. I sent my invoice in. There you go. Month rent paid. Done. So very, very lucky for me. And I was able to do that because I built up my work that I can do for brands. Just having a followership doesn't mean anything. What can you do? What value can you bring the brand? Obviously, they were able to find me thanks to having followers or whatever, but you already, Bix Blanco, you're building this network. You're building these people. So you just got to be like, I can offer X, Y, and Z to them. You need to make a list of things that you can offer to them. Workshops, shout outs in different channels, Instagram, Pinterest, the official website, I don't know. Offer different things. Or even offer things that, hey, we can help you in your social media. You need a photo? We can help you out. Offer things. Bring value to the brand. Even if you have 500 followers.
Any other questions in the chat? Just because Diego decided, hey, let me give me, Ashley, the choice of what game he gets to play.
Oof.
And of course, there were options, right? I was like Animal Crossing,
Oof.
but the game that came in mind was Dead by Daylight. And so Dandy in the Bronx, yes, you're hearing it right. Dandy in the Bronx got the game for us. He's going to play it, and his goal is to be the killer.
All right, so hold on. I need to preface this BTW. I've never played this game before. All I've been is watching other people play this game. This is not Pokemon. What is this? I don't know. Dead by what? I don't understand this. But we're gonna try it out. We're gonna give it test run. We're gonna give it the old college try. But before we pivot into that, I really want to thank all of y'all for hanging out with me today. It really, really means a lot. If you enjoyed watching this, if this brought you value, please drop a follow, because I'm hoping to have more of these in the future. And I'm always interested in having other different guests. I want to interview people as well on this. Oh, thank you, Sam Pop, for the follow. I want to bring other people to help you guys out, bring you value. And I brought my perspective as a content creator, influencer, Instagrammer, making my pivot into Twitch. But like I said, how can I bring you value? What kind of guests do you want to see? And feel free to slide in my DMs. I'm always open to hear different questions, suggestions, or whatever. And so what kind of people we want to bring in here. Because I want you to be the very best, like no one ever was. So that's my goal, like to bring you value, so y'all can be amazing. So we can bring up people of color, bring up Bronxites, bring up everybody, all of y'all who are here to be amazing at Twitch, Instagram, social media, whatever. That is the plan. So feel free to, if you can actually, as we play and switch to Dead by Daylight, keep asking questions. Ashley Laura is still going to be online to talk to us, because she's going to teach me. She's going to be the teacher here, and she's going to bring me value on how to play this game, because I'm a filthy, dirty casual when it comes to Dead by Daylight. So she's going to bring me value and teaching me how to play this game. But we're still going to be talking about influencer marketing, being a content creator. So if you still have questions in your brain, feel free to ask them, because I know there's a lot of downtime in Dead by Daylight or whatever, but like I said, we'll keep talking about this. This conversation is not over. Curator Division, thanks for stopping in. Like I said, if you're, oh, by the way, if you're leaving, thanks so much for stopping in. Make sure you stop by and say hello and goodbye. I always appreciate all of you. And if you, like I said, if this brought you value, drop a follow. I always appreciate it. I want to have more of this in the future. I want everyone to be the very best. So, Ashley, would you like to say anything else before we pivot into Dead by Daylight?
Well, one, I'm not a pro at Dead by Daylight, so I'm going to try to assist you, and I'm going to also help you with chat.
Look, you've played the game, so you're already a pro, all right? Real talk. You've already played this game, so you already know way more than me.
And what I'm like reading through your chat, and a lot of people are saying thank you. And honestly, thank you guys for tuning in. This was honestly something where like I slid into Danny in the Bronx DM, like literally the Instagram's DM, and I was like, hey, I have a couple of questions. And he was like, go ahead. Like, you want to do it now or on the stream? And then he had this great idea to do the stream. So I don't know about you guys, but I'm definitely going to replay all of this. I'm going to go back and watch it again just to take notes. Simply because there's a lot of meaty, juicy things that are here, little gems. Like, I cannot wait to rewatch it. And so thank you guys for like watching and letting me be kind of like this interviewee, because this is like the first time I've ever done this. And then also thank you to Dandy. Diego, you are such an inspiration. Just your story, sharing your story means a lot. And the advice that you've given, like people actually charge for this advice, right? Like if you think about it. And you're over here like, let me just tell you guys, because this is the way that like I've done it, and I know the kind of like the tricks and shortcuts.
You're paying me with love, with followers and subs. Like just being here is what I love. So don't think of it this way. Like I said, there's always ways to support content creators that's not just monetary. It's being there, supporting, sharing, liking, commenting. There's so many ways to do it. Oh, thank you so much for the bits, my friends. We're almost at hype.
You're on a hype train, Dandy.
Oh my god! Oh my goodness gracious! Great balls of fire, my friend. Hold on. Oh my goodness! Thank you so much, my friends. Oh my goodness.
What a great way to end this like interview segment with a hype train, you guys.
Yes, much love, much love. But like I said, I want to do more of this. Think about what you need. Like, for example, I know Sam Pop, she's a photographer. Yo, thank you so much for the sub. Boy. Oh my goodness, BTW. Ay, gracias, mi pana. Muchas gracias, mi pana. Ay, Dios mío. So, my goodness. Like, for example, I know Sam Pop, she's a photographer. So maybe I could like bring in photographers or videographers or other types of content creators. Like I know content creator, she's an actress. Like I can bring her in so she can talk about, you know, how to act, you know, how to speak, how to be a good speech person or whatever, you know. My friends, thank you so much for the subs. You're giving me so much energy, so much hype.
Hype it up, yes.
My power level. This is like a spirit bomb you're giving me here. But this is my spirit bomb. You're filling it up. All your positive vibes right here. I'm gonna freaking drop this on Frieza and destroy him one shot thanks to this giant spirit bomb. Thank you so much for the spirit bomb, my friends. Thank you so much. But yes, we're gonna be pivoting into Dead by Daylight soon. Anything else, Ashley, before we go in, because you are being so amazing with your kind words. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. No, I'm so glad for the love that you're getting, and I'm to be part of this experience. We have more questions coming in, so I definitely am writing them down so that when we start talking or we start playing, I can kind of ask you those questions.
Yeah, of course, definitely. So, my friends, I'm gonna let me actually change the title of the stream, because now we're playing this game called Dead by Whoever Lights. I'm not sure.
Daylight.
Babies First Dead by Daylight. That's gonna be the name of the stream. And we're gonna change the category to Dead by Daylight. There we go. Thank you so much, my friends, for the subs. Mega appreciated. The power and love you're giving me, it means so much to me. Ultra casual.
Aww.
There we go. Ultra casual. All right, and then there you go. My God, thank you so much, my friends. You're giving me. I am the biggest boomer in the multiverse right here. So okay, so let's. I just changed the stream to Dead by Daylight. You guys got to help me out here, because I know all of you guys are hardcore Dead by Daylight players, and I'm a filthy casual. So let's pivot right here. Boom, right here.